Okay, C major. So right there playing the fourth and the fifth of the sequence, the F major, G major to the root, and then I'm using the C major scale to create those fills, okay? Okay. Okay, C major scale all over, and then something interesting I found was if you look at constructing the chords in the sequence on the second string, okay? So this is part of like learning the entire fretboard. The reason why most intermediate players kind of hit a ceiling is my theory. The reason why is because they've learned all the notes off by heart, all the frets and the notes on the 6th and 5th fret strings, and because you know what they are on the 6th, you also know what they are on the 1st. So you've done half your work already, okay? You just got to get these other 3 strings, and then you'll really open up your playing. And a good way to do that is to learn how to construct chords on these other strings. Now, if you think about it, the 4th string is actually pretty easy because it's such an obvious visual from the 6th string, right? The octave is like that. So like you should know that's a G, that's an F, and that's a C. Okay? So constructing chords using the root on the 2nd string is really effective. It opens up your playing, okay? So if the root of C falls on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, let's start from there and go through the chord sequence, okay? So from your tonic is the root, is the 1, it's a C in this case, it's major, it's always going to be major, okay? In the C major scale. And then you go to a D, and the D is going to be minor, okay? Okay, and now this chord has the root, has the 1 on the 2nd string, and that's what we want, okay? So this is basically the shape we're going to be working with. So all I'm doing is just like randomly playing notes in the C major scale over those 2 chords. Okay, so what's the 3rd then? So if the root is C, the 2nd is D minor, the 3rd is going to be a minor as well, and that's going to be E minor. So why not, we want to form the chord using the root on the 2nd string. Here's the E. So there's that shape. Now, this is basically a fragment of a bigger chord, which is like this. So, my fingers aren't quite ready to make this stretch, but let's just use this fragment here. You can either, when you're playing in a band with a bass player, they'll play the bass notes, and you can focus on these things. So it's a good thing to practice as a guitarist. So that's an E, just playing the top 3 notes of this shape is an E minor. Okay, but if you want to play more in the mid-range, then you got to maybe include this note instead of the G note on the high E string. So this is on the 4th, the 3rd and 2nd string. This makes an E minor, okay? And that's a good shape to know, okay? So you have your middle finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. You have your pointer finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And you have your 3rd finger on the 1, which is E, and that is the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, so if that's a minor, then this is also a D minor. This is a D minor by going down a whole step. So, and that's kind of what I want to focus on here. Is just these the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, and making these chords, these triads here. So this would be a C. This would be a D minor. This would be an E minor. Now, if you notice, this C looks a lot like an A minor. I'm not playing the open A. Okay, I'm just playing those 3 strings, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd strings. So it's a C. Okay. If the bass player was to play the A, then it would be an A minor. If the bass player plays a C, then it's a C. Okay. So the root, the 2nd, the 3rd, okay? And that brings us to the 4th, okay? The 4th is going to be F. And it's going to be the same shape as this, but using F on the as the root note on the 2nd string. So this is what I was practicing last night. Now maybe we just today go to the 5th degree of the sequence. I mean, there's only 7, so maybe we'll do the whole thing. But so here we got the E minor, D minor, E minor, F major. Okay, so that's your 3rd finger is on the 7th fret of the 5th string. Your pointer finger is on the C, which is the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and your middle finger is on the root, the F, which is the 6th fret of the 2nd string. I just practiced that 1,000 times. And then the 5th chord in the sequence is going to be a G, which is here. Same shape, one whole step up. Now, to really help yourself hit that target note when you're moving, just laser beam your eyes onto, like use the root note on the 2nd string as your anchor, and really focus and practice getting there. I was sat in front of the TV watching Breaking Bad, and I watched a couple episodes, and I was just doing this the whole time. messing around with it. And like, I hadn't really done this before. Okay? I was aware of it, but I'm trying to get it to really sink in. Now here's your C major scale, starting on the 8th fret on the 6th string. And you know how to make this chord, right? Starting your C major with the root on the 4th string, the 10th fret of the 4th string. So you're changing, you know, when you make this, let's say you're playing the song, and you got to go to the 4th, the 4. Now, if you're playing with a bass player and another guitarist who's maybe, you know, maybe the other guitarist is playing these, and you're doing these, and you're doing these. Or maybe you're the only guitarist, but you want to you're playing a bit of dynamics and you switch it up. Okay, and then the last one in the sequence before you get to the root again is really the B diminished. Okay, and I'm just going to explain, I've explained it before I think, but this is, so your C chord, C triad is 4th string, 10th fret, 9th fret on the 3rd string, which is an E, and then the G on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, that's your triad. And then your B is going to be 9th fret on the 4th string with your pinky, 7th fret on the 3rd string with your middle finger, and 6th fret on the 2nd string. Now, where's the B diminished on the rooting on the 2nd string? Well, here's your B, and there's your lowered 3rd, because it's basically like a B minor with a lowered 5th. So that's a good one to practice. First finger on the 10th fret of the 3rd string. The root is your 3rd finger on the 12th fret of the 2nd string, the B note. And your pointer finger, your middle finger on the 10th fret of the 1st string, which is a D note. And it resolves to C in this shape, or like we were doing. So then, how do you make that B diminished using the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings? Well, you got your B, you got your lowered, your flatted 5th, Guess like that. So that's your middle finger on the 12th fret of the 4th string, pointer finger on the 10th fret of the 3rd string, 3rd finger on the root of this chord, which is the 12th fret of the 2nd string. Back to the other shape we were practicing. Okay, there's your A minor, B diminished, A minor, G major, F major, E minor, D minor, root. Okay, that's a lot, but you can practice that. Wow, okay. Oh boy. That's a good, that would, you know, when I get that really down pat, it's going to be fun.